as a very dedicated, enthusiastic music fan for a lot of my life to this point, which will continue. I have been so fortunate to have what I have. I'm a full-time musician, I'm a collector of CD and vinyl, and I'm just a guy who wants to talk about music. And yes, I have decided to talk about anything in albums and music that's always very subjective. Those three words, music is subjective, is very simple. It shows more of the truth. To know what you're saying is an opinion. The reason why I have decided to say that at the start of this video, it is because since last night I've been very hesitant to talk about this from a video that was posted from one of my most favourite vinyl community music fans on YouTube, Abigail DeVoe. I want to give her a massive shout out because she actually did some video that was posted yesterday that blew up with attention, and rightfully so. She doesn't talk about things like this. She made a response with a much better, insightful, and amazingly well-written set of words and sentences that I could have done something like that, but she absolutely nailed it. Her response was about, in my opinion, the worst and most offensive album review I've ever seen. If you guys know what it is, then you know. If you don't know, go and subscribe to Abigail and check her videos out. Not just to check out the response video of hers, but if you love collecting, if you love to be so happy and passionate about music, if you love deep dives and knowledgeable videos on many albums in different genres, then go and discover her incredible work of videos on her channel. She deserves a lot of the respect and admiration, and after seeing her latest response, it was just something that I completely did not expect to see from her, but I give her loads of praise. If you guys don't know what I'm about to say in this video, then maybe you can stick around. But if you want to check out her video, this is probably going to be like a similar response and my own thoughts and comments about this whole controversy. The album review that was done by the internet's busiest music nerd, The Needle Drop, with his very negative, scathing review on Halsey's latest album, The Great Impersonator. Now, I have been very unfamiliar of who Halsey is. She's an American pop musician, and The Great Impersonator is a concept album that has been made in the worst times through a lot of these painful and emotionally charging times in her life. A lot of the lyrics around the album have been reflective around her upcoming untimely passing away, the trauma of her life, her parents, and to think that she made this album as maybe the last album she ever made, that if she passes away, her young son would be around but not her. But I will have to say, to make an album through these types of ideas, not only to make a lot of material that's based around her inspirations through loads of musicians who I love, I give her so much of the love, and for her bravery of making an album like this. It was positively reviewed, mostly by fans and critics. Obviously, The Needle Drop's review has been nothing but not only just a review, but a huge, massive example that journalism is at its broken downward spiral state. An album review is not only just to say what you want to say, but if there's any other type of sentence or more words to say in the review, we all have to be careful of what we say. An album review is always open-minded through the way we react, the way we think of things. Sure, we have made mistakes along the way, like obviously I've been there myself, with misinformation, mispronunciations, said things that I shouldn't have said, learn from the mistakes and to overcome and adapt of improvement. But when you talk about an album or anything else that involves music, that's taken into some more growing comments on things, there's a moment that you have to be thinking to yourself, that's really harsh. I shouldn't have said that. Or you just think, yes, it's just a review. You can just put it out and not realize that what you're actually doing has been taking things into a brutal toll of bullying and volatile criticisms. The way the Needle Drop described her illness that she has been going through, of disorders to other illnesses, other disgusting descriptions of some of the context of lyrics as this or that. This is a huge problem why I don't subscribe and have any interest to go into a journey of being interested of journalism and to go into what they think of things because of these notorious and awful behaviors that when you say things that not only offends music fans and anybody else, but ones that would hurt the actual self and well-being of a person who's going through a life-threatening crisis of illnesses, that is when you have got to be an absolute disgrace. When I look at many reviews on the Needle Drops channel, a lot of the comments section has been completely randomized with memes and fun banter, weird stuff. But this is the first time that I've ever seen, out of all of his videos, viewers calling him out by what he said. And that is a good thing, because that is a sign of something that was made in such a wrong and worsening way that what he did say from the execution of his thoughts, his language and the way he addressed these things was so severe and vile. I just cannot believe that he decides to take his review into not only talk about the album that he dislikes, but to make it so punishing and difficult for thousands and thousands and thousands of his viewers and any audiences to listen to what he said. Mindsets of reactions that would hurt and cause a huge turmoil to the person, not the musician only, the person and anybody else who's going through similar personal things like this. That is not an opinion. That is an attack that was absolutely not worth keeping and recorded for the sake of a video, and I have been at a loss for words that he got away with this. It rightfully deserved the backlash. 15,000 dislikes, and it will be counting. Those 15,000 dislikes were the sign of the audiences to say, it's a fuck you. We shouldn't have said things that will be tormenting and affecting people. But if you use words wisely and respectfully as well, then that is it. A lack of research is another huge issue that had been spreading in his review. If you don't understand what Halsey or anybody else wanted to create, just go and find out a lot of information for yourselves. Dive into it with a completely open mind, and at least, just at least, give these types of people respect. Have any care, any soul to appreciate what they wanted to achieve. Halsey had made this album through every single bit of her heart, her blood, sweat and tears. Whether you like something or don't like something, don't you dare to take it way too far, like what he did.